can we just say this is the rebuild? Finally, they're not saying that it's the rebuild, but it's the rebuild, right? It's the rebuild, correct? Because you don't do this unless you're like, hey, can we do what Washington did? Be like a last place team with a soft schedule, gut the roster, get younger, and make the playoffs with a last place schedule, and everyone be okay about it, but save money at the same time? Why not?
Yeah, nah.
But it's a rebuild. I don't care what they tried to spin it. You don't get rid of your two best playmakers the last 3 or 4 years and say that this isn't a rebuild. I think they realized, or maybe York realized, that this core is done. They're not going to win a Super Bowl, right? They're done. And so now the core of the 2019 to this 49ers are very similar to those first year with Harbaugh, right? I mean, they were knocking out the doorstep, but they never quite could get over the finish line. That's this core group. Now that
to me though, like if you're gonna go all in a sense with Brock Purdy and make him your franchise quarterback, and he's 25 years old, then you don't need a bunch of dudes who are 29, 30, 31, 32. Those guys can go. You need a core guys who are set around Brock's age.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Yep. Straight up.
And I also think it was never going to be Brock's team with those specific players. It was never going to be Brock's team with Debo there. It wasn't.
It's Debo's team.
Debo's team. And
I think that was what was so hard for him this year, is that it's been his team. He's the guy who leads them out of the tunnel, and he's the face of the team in so many ways. But he needed to fall back this year, and he couldn't.
Yeah. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. No. And Ayuk was being paid like he's the leader of the team, but he may not be a very good leader, period.
I don't think he's a lot of things, but a leader is not one of them.
Correct. But if you're going to get paid $30 million a year, kind of got to have to be a good leader. I mean,
that's why they have no qualms. Have you ever heard? Do you think they're going to trade him?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of a team giving a contract like that to a wide receiver and then trading him the next year?
No.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It shows you the disconnect between Kyle and the Yorks. You don't.
And it shows you that Kyle doesn't have the standing that he used to have. Last year,
he did.
If Kyle said sign Ayuk and everyone in the organization said don't do it, the Yorks would say we're going with Kyle. This year, it's like Kyle, we're going with Parag and everyone else. Sorry.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. I think it's a changing of the guard. And I was wrong because I thought Lynch was the one in trouble, but apparently someone must have been like, yo, these are Kyle's players. Like, we didn't draft these players. The Kyle did. You know what?
Why are we spending all this money on wide receivers? Like, Ricky Pearsall's good. Jawan Jennings good. George Kittle's good. You're good you have weapons. What you need is a freaking offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's going to be very interesting what they do and how they do it. And it shows you that they could have had, the reports say they could have had that DN, that defensive tackle for a straight swap. They didn't do it, meaning that they want to save as much money as humanly possible. And that's a rebuild. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's a financial rebuild. They want to reset, and they don't want to be the second or third highest paying cash team.
John Lynch said those words the other day. He said, everyone, after spending all this money, you got to reset. He said, well, you got to recalibrate. Yeah. You got to rebuild. Karan, good stuff, man. Thanks for calling in.
I'll see you later.
See you later, man. Some supers. We got Dave Barclay says, G checked out Patriot Builders page. Here's $10 to say check out Patriot Builders of Montana. When I get these jobs done, I will come see you. When they fix my motorhome, actually want that lemonade. Man, I'm going to bring you the best lemonade. Boxing fan times 4 said, who will be taking pay cuts to cover these cap hits? Me. They're going to pay me less. Dave Barclay says, not a happy Niner fan till Lyle's gone. Bye-bye. Fair enough. Tony B says, what can they get for TW? CMC. They're not trading those guys. It's not going to happen. Double R Film says, can we trade BA for picks this year while injured? That's a good question. Can they trade BA before he can pass a physical? I'd like to know.